Today, I'll be working on a rock people call the old lady's head. Creepy name, I know, but when you look at it, the shape is there. And I'll show you the full walkthrough from color to black and white. And at the end, I'll print it, which I confess is the most exciting part for me, seeing the final result on paper. We start by changing the camera raw profile from Adobe Color to my camera's linear profile. This strips out all the tones from the photo and gives me a very flat, neutral canvas to work with. Then we click Auto and let the Adobe do its thing. Sometimes it's a good starting point, sometimes not really. In here, we'll leave exposure as is. We'll reset contrast and reset highlights also. Let's see, reset contrast, there we go. Shadows, we'll leave it as is. Whites, we drop the whites to around -40. Let's see, 38 is okay. And the blacks, you can see we are clipping the blacks by this blue tint. So we press Alt key and drag the slider to the right until all those dot spots disappear. So we'll put around plus 31, 30, okay. Next, we'll go to our color mixer panel, where in the oranges, we raise the luminance to around 70. The yellows, again, raise the luminance to around 70, 71, no problem there. And the greens, again, raise the luminance to around 70. And the blues, we will drop the luminance to around 25, something like that. And then in the details, we press Alt key and drag our masking slider to the right, so around 80. We raise the details, we drop the radius, and on the sharpening itself, we will select 70, and we will remove the chromatic aberration. So you can see before, after, you can see how flat the image is, which is good since we are converting this to a black and white. And for cropping, let me do a crop of 4:3. I want to remove this blue sky from here, and I want to add more road here. So we'll push this up so we have a better leading line to our old lady's head. And now that our image is ready, let's jump to Photoshop where all the magic happens. I opened the photo as a smart object, as you can see by this little symbol here. And this allows me to go back to Camera Raw and change any settings. So if we double click on this, we'll open Camera Raw, as you can see, and all the settings we did are stored here. So any change we want to do while in Photoshop, we can easily go back to Camera Raw and change it. So we click Cancel because we didn't change anything. And now let's convert this lifeless image into a black and white. And for this, I'm using the brand new plugin from Tony Kuipers called TK Grayscale. Tony is the same creator of the TK9 panel I use regularly. If you'd like to purchase the TK9 plugin or any other product available on this page, you can find it in the description below. And if you use my discount code FORVISTAS15, you'll get 15% off while I receive a small percentage that helps me keep making these videos. The tool is very easy to work with. You can click the plus sign to create a black and white conversion layer, but also click on the randomize button or click on any of the channels down here. So let's click on the red channel. So you can see we have our black and white image here. So we can go through all the channels and see the one we most like. And for me, I like the cyan conversion. And like I said, we have a randomize button. So we can go through that randomize button and you will, as you can see, it is constantly changing and give you a different look, a different black and white conversion look. And in case you find a version that you liked before, so you can click on this and you can go back to that conversion you liked before, or you can go forward, and this way you can go through each of the black and white conversions you did before. Like I said, I like the cyan, so I will keep with the cyan conversion. Notice that under the hood, the TK Grayscale is working with the black and white adjustment layer. So as you can change channels, you can see how we are adjusting all the sliders in there. So let's go back to cyan and let's fine tune this cyan channel. So our yellows, we're going to -8, around it -8 or -12. For the greens, we'll pop this to +200, around that. Reds will also pop to +200, around that. And for the cyans, we'll keep at +100. So let's close our TK Grayscale plugin. We don't need it for now. Notice how we can see here the high of our old lady's head, which is quite cool. You have the nose, you have the mouth. Anyway, this is like awesome image, mind-blowing. But anyway, so next, let's create a mask for the sky. In the TK9 panel, we click on this button and you can see we have our selection for the sky. And now let's go to the TK9 multi-mask and apply that sky selection to a curves layer. Now let's select our end picker, and on the dark area, let's bring it down to darken that sky. And on a brighter area, let's move it higher to bring some contrast to that sky. Notice this bright areas here near the nose of our old lady. We will deal with it when we're finishing our edit. So you can do a before, after, so you can see how we brought more contrast to that sky. So let's now work on the foreground. So we go to the TK multi-mask again, click on our curves, and now press Alt and drag our sky mask to the new curves adjustment layer. Replace layer, we say yes. So we basically copy it. And now selecting the mask and say invert. So now we are applying that mask is now applied to the foreground only. Let's now go to the properties of our curves. Click on the end picker, and on the lady's face, let's pick here on the brighter area and push it higher, maybe like this. And on a darker area, let's push it lower. You can see how the contrast completely changed. So you can see a before, after. You can see the difference. It's quite big, too much in fact. So let's change the opacity. Let's lower the opacity to around 70. So yeah, it's a little bit less punchy. Prefer like this. And now let's do the same for the road. So TK multi-mask, we select a new curves layer and picker. And now let's select a brighter area and lift a little bit, and a darker area, and let's bring it down a little bit. So this really bring our road some texture to it, and obviously contrast. So before, after, maybe we can do a little bit more like this. We can always adjust later on. So maybe something like this, before, after, probably too much. Maybe like this. And now since the change applied to all the image, we only want the road here. So let's do a black mask and we select a white brush and we bring the opacity and flow to 100%. And let's decrease here and let's bring our road. So let's paint here and paint around here. And now let's make our mask visible. Let's now that our road is fully covered, so let's back to our image, and you can see the effect there, before, after. So we started here and we are now here. So you can see quite a difference in our image. If you've liked what you've seen so far, please click like and subscribe. It really helps me continue making these videos. Now let's guide the eye a bit more. Let's create another curves layer, change the blend mode to screen so we lighten up our road, and let's apply a black mask. Now we select our white brush. Let's bring our opacity to around 30% and our flow, let's flow to around 20%. And let's now paint. So let's increase our brush here. So maybe something like this. And let's create, well, basically a leading line to our old lady's head. So you can see here, so before, after, so let's see. I think he's looking good, but the sides here are a bit too light. So let's a burn mask, and we change to a brush, a dark brush, and let's paint a little bit. Let's darken this areas here. Let's go back now to our curves layer again. Let's go back to our white brush. Let's work a little bit more in here. Make it a little more brighter. And also let's brighten this area here, because we can see there's some trail here. So let's make that a little bit visible also. So you can see we have this line till the old ladies, and you have this trail around, let's say around her head. So before, after, and I like this. Maybe let's go back to our burn layer, black brush, largest. Maybe I went a little bit too far here on the, just close this area a little bit more. Let's see, before, after. So that is the black, and there before, after. I like it. White brush again. Maybe just brighten this section here. Before, after. Perfect. Now let's do a vignette, because I feel we need a vignette here. So let's select our lasso tool, and I want the vignette to be around this area here. Around that area there. Okay. So let's now go to our TK panel and select freehand vignette. Just click OK. And you can see actually the vignette is inverted. So let's invert. So let's see before, after. So now we are vignetting this part here. So we have 30% by default. We can make it a little bit darker. Maybe let's do a 60% around. Maybe let's see. Before, after, before, after. I like it. I might be clipping some of the blacks here. So if we go to TK Multi-Mask, blend if, and we remove the dark from the not so dark. So you saw we lifted a little bit. So before, after. So now we might not having clipping blacks here. I like it what I see so far. So let's continue. Let's now do a burn layer and select our brush, our black brush, and let's decrease this to 20%. And let's paint this section of the sky here. I feel it's too light, so let's close it a little bit. I feel the high, it's running through here. So let's just darken this section here of the sky, and we can darken this area also here. So let's see before, after. So it's a little bit better. And here also. Okay. Before, after. Yeah, it's better now. We cut that section of the sky. It's darker now. So our eyes, I want our eyes to keep here on the leading line until the old lady's ahead here. I don't want our eye to go out of the frame. So let's focus on the old lady's head. And for it, I'll create a dodge and burn layer. And let's start with the dodge. So we select our white brush, opacity at 20%. Let's do 100% zoom. And on the dodge layer, let's paint white. And let's give some shape to our lady's eye here. Let's do before, after. Just give a little bit of eye here. And now let's go to the burn. Let's switch to the brush, black brush. Let's paint here a little bit of white, black. Sorry. Let's do before, after, just a little bit more. Let's also paint here the nose. Let's darken this area here also, because it's a little bit too bright. Let's do before and after. Perfect. Let's now do our dodge. Switch to the white. And let's brighten here the lips of our old lady. Let's brighten here on the top of her head so we can separate this rock from the sides. So what we're going to do now is go back to the burn, black brush, and now on the other rock we're going to darken this side here. So just to create a better separation between both rocks. So you can see before, after. So we darken around, and then on the white side, we brighten a little bit there. Let's go back to white brush. Let's lighten this up a little bit more. So let's zoom out. And let's see, select both, and let's see before, after. So we did a little bit more, we gave a little bit of more depth to our old lady's head, which I do like it a lot. We can see better the eye in this section of the nose and the lips. This is really, really nice. You can go black and select the dark brush. And let's zoom 100% again. I'm going to dark a little bit the chin here. Seems it's a little bit too bright. So just darken a little bit. Okay, so zoom out. Let's see before, after, before, after. I like it. Let's do a dodge here. White brush. Seems I left something like a band up here. Yes, it's better. Let's do brush. I do like it a lot. So we started here and we are now here. So quite significant change here. Now I would like to brighten this tree a little bit here. I feel it's too dark. It will be too dark on the print. So what I'm thinking is, so let's scroll down. Let's remove our color, our grayscale layer, and let's go to the TK multi-mask, click on this button here, and let's do a color mask. Let's select this color a little bit brighter. Oh Lord, that color there. Okay, so let's just brighten a little bit more. Okay, I like this. And now let's apply that mask to a curves layer. Here we go, our curves layer. And let's come down and apply our black and white layer. And let's do a dodge layer, move our mask to it because we're going to paint it, delete the curves. And now let's select the white brush, 23%. And let's paint. Well, we can actually move to 100% since we are protected by the mask. Let's increase the brush a little bit size and let's paint. Let's brighten this tree, this section here a little bit. So you can see before, after. So we brighten that a little bit, which I like. I want to brighten this section here also a little bit. I'm not sure these leaves here. I'm going to brighten these a little bit also. Let's see before, after, before, after. Yes, I like it. It's really much more. So it doesn't get too dark when printing. And let me go back down to the black mask where we apply the screen blend. And let me try to make this section a little bit lighter. I think it's a little bit dark there. Just lighten a little bit. And the burn this a little bit here. Now, overall, I feel the image is a little bit dark, so we need to lift those midtones because this print will become too dark. But let's fix this issue as I mentioned early in the video. So let's create a blank layer. Let's select our clone tool and let's clone. So we hold Alt key and let's select an area on the sky here for our cloning. So let's click here and let's clone. So this is 100%. Let's go a little bit lower. Let's do a 40%. Let's clone this section here because it's too bright. So I feel it is too distracting. So that's to before, after. So it's much better now. Our eye is not really focused on this side because we cut the brightness. Let's lower the opacity a little bit. I think like this is way better. Yeah, I like it. We cut that brightness there. Let me go to the burn here because I believe, let's go to the brush, black brush, zoom 100%. I brightened the nose of our old lady. So let me go and make it a little bit darker again. I make it to, so let's do, so I feel the image is too dark for printing. It will generate a very dark print. So I need to lift the midtone. So in our TK multi-mask, we click on the color grading tool, select midtones, and let's lift the midtones to around maybe plus 25. Let's do before, after, and maybe we go to our shadows and drop the shadows, let's see, to -5, just to see, let's see, before, after. So we increase the contrast a little bit and raised those midtones to make the image a little bit brighter. So this is where we started and this is where we ended up. I think this is ready for printing. So I'm going to do some print tests, and then if I need some adjustments, I will do it and then print the final version, and I'll be back here to show you guys. And here it is, the photo printed. I use Hahnemühle's Photo Rag 308, a matte paper that has become my go-to choice. Even though it's matte, the tones hold beautifully. The contrast and detail are all there. And while it's hard to notice on video, the subtle texture on the paper really enhances the texture of the image itself. I couldn't be happier with the final result. If you'd like to support the channel, check the description for Tony Kuiper's tools. Don't forget the discount code FORVISTAS15. And of course, please subscribe for more editing walkthroughs like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.